Continuing with the conversation of the Lorax with the Once-ler who has just chopped down a truffle tree to build a shop and some strange things like this. What is it called? He called it, I forgot. The Thneed. He knitted a Thneed with great speedy speed. I'm going back and forth because I haven't read it enough to be able to remember it, and will come back and keep reading. So Mr. The Lorax, was already upset, and he was huffing and puffing and shouting at the Once-ler. "What's the thing you have made out of my truffle tuft?" he asks. And the Once-ler tries to comfort the Lorax and say, "This is not a big deal. Look, Lorax," I said. This is the Once-ler telling the kid through the Whimperma phone about the story of the Lorax. "Look, Lorax," I said, "there is no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a Thneed. A Thneed, a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Thneed." You get the moral of the story, that the first time we started to produce things, let's say in a simple way, just having some sheep and shaving them and making some wool sweaters, and then we started making more things. We started to have more sheep grazing more, chopping down forests to have sheep to make wool sweaters, or chopping down the truffle tufts to make fiber which can make a shirt, a sock, a glove, a hat, and other uses beyond that, like carpets and pillows and sheets and curtains and covers for your bicycle seats. That sounds like a child's story, but you look around, everywhere you have things that you just take for granted. You buy a bicycle, you want to have the seat be softer, so you go buy a cover. You don't think about where the cover came from, what it's made of, and what was destroyed to create it. This is the moral of the story as well. So here is the Thneed, and the Lorax is looking at it saying, "Who on earth needs it?" You may have heard of Steve Jobs, the famous inventor of the Apple and the iPod and the iPad and the smartwatches and the computers and so on and so forth. Brilliant guy, and he once said, "People don't even know what they want. You have to show them." So you make something and you show them, "This is so convenient, you must buy it." Now you have kids standing in line to buy the latest Apple phone. Even though the phone they have works very well, they just want the latest phone, and the parents are giving them money to go and buy it. So this is what we are talking about here when the Once-ler says it's no big deal and there is no cause for alarm, because once we start consuming, we are out of control. So there is the Lorax looking scared again. But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along and he thought that the Thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy, you never can tell what some people will buy." That's exactly what Steve Jobs said. You make something that's cool and you put it in a shop, and there will be soon a line of young and old to buy the cool thing. So you have no idea what some people will buy. So here is the guy who bought at 398, the Thneed that the Once-ler had made, and he's happily walking away with his fancy shoes and fancy coat and shirt and so on. And here are the Barbaloots looking shocked at what's happening with the chopped Tuftaloot. And is it a cause of concern that only one Tuftaloot was chopped down to make this? Well, what follows? That's what we have to think. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. He's standing at the door of the Once-ler's shop and he's pleading. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I am busy, I told him. The Once-ler is speaking. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here, here is a wonderful chance for the whole Once-ler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to the North Niche. Take the road to North Niche. Turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. So you're going North Stitch down to Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch, and here is the radio phone. So before you know it, the Industrial Revolution and the invention of the telegraph and the phone and the radio phone, and come the airplanes, the rockets and buildings and cars and trucks and everything else. Not in that order, but you get the idea. So here is the Once-ler shop with its famous Thneeds being sold, and in no time at all in the factory I built. It's a factory now, it's not even a shop. Many Thneeds are being made, which means many truthful trees are being chopped, as you can see here. So and in no time at all in the factory I built, the Once-ler says, the whole Once-ler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting Thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truthful trees. So there we go. We start the large-scale deforestation with this one simple tree cutting, knitting a Thneed, and convincing people that these are needed for them for socks and curtains and what else do you have. So here we are again, one shopper carrying away the Thneed happily at 398. Uh-oh, I put these things again for whatever reason, and that sometimes happens. Sorry about that, kids. So let's look at what happens after this. So here is bunch of truthful trees chopped down and being brought to the factory. There is a new Thneed being dried to get it ready for sale, and here are all the chopped truthful trees. There is one being chopped even as so many trees are being hauled into the factory that the Once-ler built for knitting the Thneeds with all his family members. And here is the Lorax looking helpless and crying and feeling very angry. So the Thneeds and Thneeds here, and you can see that there is a new machine that is built here. It's got a an axe coming out of it, and here is the Once-ler or a family member who is burning some fuel to make it move fast, and as he goes along he can quickly chop off the trees. So there is mass chopping of the truthful trees. Then, oh baby, oh how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow, so he must find a way to chop trees really fast. So here comes the mass deforestation. And the moral of the story again before we continue is, as I said before, if there is a sock, a curtain, a bed sheet or a shirt in your house or on your body, and you think about the truthful tree and the Lorax and the Once-ler, then you have to start thinking, where did it come from? How was the material grown? How was it manufactured? How many trees were cut down? and how much greenhouse gas was increased, and what was the impact on the water, on the air, on the clouds, on the birds, on the animals, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll keep slowly moving forward with podcasts of this length so that we can add commentary about how to think about the Lorax in the context of climate change, environmental change, and also called global change, because we are changing everything. We are changing the Earth system. Okay, see you in the next podcast.